Put a one in the chat if you're having a great morning so far. Put a one in the chat if you're having a great morning so far. If your morning has been great, if your morning has been amazing, put a one in the chat. I see you, Bryce, uh, from Iowa. I see you, sir. Welcome to the Winner Circle. Put a one in the chat, okay? And if you guys have not been having such a great morning, what I want you to understand is uh, you'll have the kind of morning that you say you have, and you'll have the kind of morning you believe that you have. Nothing is happening to you other than what you believe is happening to you. Nothing is happening to you other than what you believe is happening to you. And, okay, the way that things work, our relationship with the world around us is, okay, uh, we get to choose what we believe. And if we choose to believe that everything is happening for us rather than to us, everything will happen for us rather than to us, right? And so be an engineer of your belief systems, be an engineer of your mindset, be an engineer. This is the first AI system right here. Okay, right here. Okay. And so every morning when you put 2 feet on the floor, get grateful and get grateful quick because the world is going to come at you 100 miles an hour, right? And you have to fortify your mind, you have to fortify your thinking, right? Out the gate, out the rip, okay? And let the world know that you are not to be played with today. All right. And then just wake up the next day and do the same thing. Okay. So if you're not having such a good day today, don't claim it, don't name it. Just say, hey, I am having a good day. All right. And if you claim it, you will have such a thing. We had a great call yesterday. We had great information from our leaders. Kim, put a one in the chat if you are on the pod meeting last night. It was an amazing pod meeting, by the way. Kudos to our leaders who showed up, showed out. Miss Marlena, Kim Howard, Hans Augustin, and they talked about some pretty key things in regards to understanding your numbers. And we're going to continue that theme this morning, real quick, you guys, and then we'll open it up to some of the leaders. So, again, if you're not driving, okay, and you are stationary, number one, okay, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you want the world to take you seriously, you got to be serious about your business. Open up your screens, open up your cameras if you can. Number two, grab a pen and pad real quick because we are about to get into um, some really solid information that I believe is going to help you guys become financial professionals even more in regards to your businesses. All right. And so let me get into these slides real quick for you guys. Hold on one second. And let me switch my screen real quick. Let me stop sharing and then let me share again because it always
Brother,
pops up second
those are
screen.
going to hit my email box.
Yes, sir. I'm already ready
I
for you.
already tell.
Can you
I
guys
can
see my
already tell.
screen, by the way? Does it
Yes,
say gross submit versus premium placed?
yes,
Say
yes.
that. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So we're going to talk about, you guys, how to turn big financial goals into bite-sized production targets. But I want to preface, okay, this conversation this morning by you guys understanding that you cannot count what you don't count. You cannot count on, excuse me, what you don't count. Okay? You cannot count on what you don't count. So, as a business owner in this space, okay, the numbers are the determining factor of the story. My mentor, Jim Rohn, and some of my other mentors later, they used to say every month, Suni, this is a box. I want you guys to imagine a box, okay? And every month, the only thing that fits into that box is a number. How many people did you talk to? How many people did you contact? Okay. How many people did you follow up with today? Okay. And people used to try to tell stories and they used to try to give excuses. And you say, hey, 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 this box is just small enough for a number, not a story, not an excuse, okay, but a number. Okay. Those of you who are leaders and you have base shops now, right? These are the kind of conversations that you're going to have to start to curtail with your other team so that you can get to the objective goals. Okay. Hey, real quick, what's the numbers? Hey, had a conversation with Hans Augustine last night. Hey, I owe you 100. Here's my 100. This morning, okay, here's my 100. Talk to you later. The numbers tell the story. This is business. Please write this down too. Okay. In business, or business is a game of numbers, and the objective is to put the numbers in your favor. That's it. The better relationship that I have with the numbers, the bigger the outcomes that I'll have in my favor. All right. So we're going to talk about a different approach to understanding how to hit projected goals. How many of you guys want to go from being average to elite when it comes to month hitting the numbers, right? How many of you guys cringe a little bit when we start talking about numbers? I'm going to tell you guys it's okay, right? Because everybody in the United States has an aversion to numbers. There's a small percentage of people in the United States. This is a fact. You can look it up. There's a small percentage of people, okay, that do not have an aversion to numbers in the United States. There's the majority of people have an aversion. You start talking numbers to most people in the United States, they mentally check out. So it's okay, right? I want you guys to know that it's completely normal to feel that way. All right. But is it safe to say that if we want to be elite, we want to be tomorrow's billionaires, we got to kind of bridge that gap, right? And create a roadmap to kind of cross that threshold. Yes? Show of hands. Y'all with me this
Yes.
morning? Good? Y'all with me?
Yes.
I hope I didn't lose y'all too soon. Okay, good stuff. Growth submit versus premium place, turning big financial goals into into bite-sized production targets. So the first thing I want you guys to write down, it's not on the slide, it's a formula. Okay? So how do you understand the difference between your cash flow and your submitted gross? We talked about last night, okay, that we only get advanced 75% of our submitted gross. Yes? So if I want to cash flow 30K, that means my submitted gross has to be a higher number. Yes? So how do I figure out what that higher number is? I want you guys to write this down. 1.3333 times desired cash flow equals submitted gross. Told y'all to grab a pen and pad this morning. Okay? I'm going to say it one more time. 1.3333 times my desired cash flow equals the submitted gross I need to submit. So if my goal, Marlena, is 30K, right? Cash flow. I need 30K cash flow goals because we've got different goals. We've got cash flow goals. We got submitted goals, right? Submitted gross goals. How many guys know what kind of goal is equity? Is that a submitted gross goal or is that a cash flow goal?
Cash flow.
Cash flow goal, right? Equity is a cash flow goal. I need to cash flow 50K within 6 months to hit equity. So if I needed 30K cash flow, I multiply 30K by 1.3333 and I get the submitted gross that I need to hit that cash flow goal. Okay? Anybody want to do the math real quick?
Isn't that
The
the
50K.
No, 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 no,
commission?
no, 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 no,
Say that one more time. I'm
Me
sorry, somebody.
39,999.
It's $39,999,
$900.
right? 99
Yes.
cents, right? Okay,
30,000. Yeah, $39,900. Yeah.
absolutely.
But the submitted points versus cash flow would then be divided by your contract level, right?
That's true too, right? That's true too, right? But we just want to talk about this portion of it, right? Because you still have to
Okay.
multiply that by your contract, right? So
Okay.
you would still have to multiply that by your contract. Okay. But I just want to give you guys the bite-sized piece of it real quick. Okay. I want you guys to understand how submitted gross works so that you can calculate the numbers accurately. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Marlene is like 20 steps ahead of me. All right. Yes, you would still have to multiply that by your contract. Absolutely. Okay. But let's figure this piece out. So for again, if I wanted to, let's say, for example, if my goal was 250K, okay, somebody multiply 250K by 1.3333 for me real quick. And give me that number.
Three hundred thirty-three
333.
thousand $325.
Okay, now to prove that math, divide that by 75%, KJ. Tell me what you get. Or multiply it by 75%. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Multiply it by
Mm-hmm.
75%.
We got 249,993 and 75 cents.
Right? So the math is mathing. All right. So we like $7 short of projectedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want you guys to be able to leverage this formula so that when you're calculating your goals, you can calculate your goals accurately when it comes to cash flow. Does this make sense to you guys? Now you still have to multiply your contract. The reason that I can't put that in the slides is because everybody's contract is different. Some of you guys on 50% contracts, some of you guys are 60, some of you guys are 70s. That kind of makes sense, right? But the math that won't change is 1.3333 times your cash flow or projected cash flow goal. Okay? So let's get into it real quick. So, reverse engineering your goals. Success in this business is not random, you guys. Elite financial professionals do not hope they hit their goals. All right. They reverse engineer them. The difference between average producers and elite producers is simple. Elite professionals know their numbers. All right. So I want you guys to write down these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets. Okay. Number one, cash flow goals. What are my cash flow goals every single month? Get familiar with the language. If I were to ask you guys, do you have a cash flow goal this month? Everybody should say yes. We're in business. And if you don't have a cash flow goal, you're not running a business. You're kind of randomly doing something. All right. So, for example, if I were to ask, let's say, who do we have on the line? Kim Howard, what's your cash flow goal for this year?
100,000.
100,000, right? She knows or she's familiar with her cash flow goal, right? If I were to ask Hans Augustin what his cash flow goal is in the next couple of months, I'm sure it's like 50K, right? My cash flow goal for the end of this year is 250,000. So what is your cash flow goal? The second goal that I want you guys to write down is gross submission targets. gross submission targets. These are our positional targets, right? So if I'm talking BD, if I'm talking field director, if I'm talking hitting associate, these are gross submission targets. If I'm talking monthly premium targets, okay, then I'm talking about premium placed. Policy count targets. We used to have a lot of promotions, by the way, and bonuses. They took them off. Sorry, y'all missed that last year. I was killing them on the app bonuses because they had a 5-5 promotion, 5 apps, 5 something else, right? And I was on that target every single month, right? And I was bonusing like 500 every single month. All right. But they're going to bring stuff like that back. But if you don't know the language, you can't hit the targets. Does this kind of make sense? Right. So when they roll out a promotion and they're saying, hey, cash flow or gross submitted targets or monthly premium targets or policy count targets, right? And then your activity targets. What are some of our activity targets that are embedded in our system already, you guys? Anybody want to hurl something at that one? What are some of the activity targets we have?
Infinite 8.
Infinite 8, right? Where else do we have an 8 in our activity targets at on our platform?
8 grand. 8 grand.
8 grand, but activity target. Where do we have another activity target? In our academy, right? Is the academy 8 schools per week? Right?
Oh, yeah.
So when we talk academy, the activity goal is I visit 8 schools per week. Right? And if I visit 8 schools per week, that's 32 schools per month. And over time, I'll nail a 25 leads per week. That's 100 opportunities per month to get to a 6-figure gross submission target. Okay? So when we learn how to break a large goal into smaller measurable actions, your business becomes more predictable, intentional, and scalable. All right. So again, you cannot count on what you don't count. And watch this, you guys. This is so true. The numbers you focus on actually grow. The numbers you focus on actually grow. I promise you, if you guys had a recruiting focus this month, you would get those recruits. If you had a cash flow goal this month, you would cash flow. If you had a app count, focus this month, you would hit that app count. Okay. So step 1, let's start with cash flow goal. And I kind of broke this down earlier because I wanted to give you guys that formula. So let's say your goal is 30K in cash flow. Okay. And your annual premium grid is or pay 75% in advance. Just understand, you guys, that the 75% is equivalent to 9 months. 75% of a calendar year is 9 months. Okay? So 9 months, 75%, 9 months, same thing. All right? So you must determine how much submitted gross premium is required to create that cash flow. All right. And we already have the formula, right? And as Miss Marlena said earlier, right, you have to multiply then your contract to whatever that goal is. Does this kind of make sense? If I'm at 50%, I got a cash flow goal of 30,000. Okay. Well, submitted gross for 30,000 is 40K. Then I multiply that by 50%. Then I need a submitted gross target of 80K. So I have to double that. That kind of makes sense? But your contract is the variable in its equation. Does this make sense? All right. Step 2. If the carrier advances 75%, then the math becomes, as I mentioned, 0.75 times that 40,000 equals 30,000. And this is just easy math to do. The 40K, the 30K scenario, right? 25% of 40K is 10,000. Okay? Does this make sense so far to you guys? Is everybody tracking?
I'm with you
It
so
will.
far. Well,
Okay. Okay. Good stuff.
Mm. I'll wait.
Go ahead, Miss Marlena. Come on. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
No,
Birthday girl.
the math is good, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not cash flow. That's the part that I was trying to say. I don't think that's for cash flow that we're
It's cash
calculating.
flow. It's cash flow once you multiply your contract. That's cash flow.
I see. I see.
What is it that you feel like is not making it cash flow?
Um, I mean, like if okay, I get it. So you're telling people to do this, plus they're like if 30,000 was their cash flow goal, this formula would be a little different. It would be like 60 something thousand points to get to 40,000. I'll let you finish because maybe it's in these steps. Thank you
Yes,
guys.
ma'am.
Bye.
Yes, ma'am. So if I had a goal to cash flow 30K, right? And I submitted 40K, and let's just say hypothetically everybody was at 100% contract. Because again, we're not going to consider the variable of contracts. Okay. And the carrier advanced 75%, that would be $30,000 in cash flow all day long. That make it easier to digest if everybody was at 100% contract.
can I
Yeah.
add something, Mr. Simon?
Yes, ma'am.
Just
Yes, sir.
just to say what both of everybody is saying. The factor that you would use is exactly what you just said. But if you guys want to know the math, it's it's exactly what he just said, 0.75. If you do 0.75 times 0.50 or 0.70 or 0.80, whatever your contract is, that bottom line is the factor, which means
That's the
that
cash flow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the cash flow. So if I did, I don't know the math, but if somebody did a point 0.70, I'm a point 0.70 contract times 0.75, whatever that number is, if it's point 0.60 or point 0.50, I don't know the exact number because my wife is better than math than me. That point 0.52 is the point 0.50 divided by the number he just said is the what will be what you need to write in premium in order for you to cash flow. But I will write it down, but he is 100% correct. It's just you have to take the other part of your contract to verify how much you need to produce so that you can cash flow and reverse it the same. But this is
Right.
good so far because you're actually forcing me to think about
And
where I
and
need to
this
be
is
at.
and again, this is generic, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is not pertaining to a particular contract level. You see what I'm saying? This is just generic. This is just calculating the numbers in a vacuum, right? If I want to understand submitted gross against cash flow, right? This is how that math breaks down. Then you have to say, okay, where am I at in this space from a contract standpoint? And then you have to multiply your contract to that particular math. It does change the math, right? But to get to the generic numbers, right? This is kind of what you need to know, right? So, how do I break down the goal monthly? Okay. So, for example, And this is how you approach it from a different standpoint, right? This is how you approach it now from instead of submitted gross. Because a lot of times we look at the numbers from a submitted gross standpoint like they're really big numbers, right? So instead of focusing on the 40K, okay, you convert it into a monthly premium needed. So I divide the 40K by 12. I got $3,333.33 in premium submitted. So instead of looking at 40K, right, Betty? Now I can say, well, how much premium do I need to place? I only need to place 3,333 in premium. Does it make sense to anybody?
Yep.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
I only
Yes,
need to
sir.
place three. So now, because I have 3,333 in monthly premium, the goal feels a lot more tangible. What do I mean by that? Okay. So if I'm looking at 3,333 to place in monthly premium, now I can say, okay, that's 7 policies at 500 a month. And I hit my goal, right? I hit my cash flow goal, or approximately 14 policies per month at $250 a month in premium. Does this kind of make sense? Right? So it's easier for me. For example, when I went after business director, this is how I looked at my business director goal. I didn't look at it in the amount of 90K. I looked at it in the amount of premium that I needed to place, right? And then I broke that down into a target app count. So I said, I need this many apps, right? At this much, right? Target premium, and I'll be in the ballpark of my goal a lot easier than just looking at this big, huge number like 80K, 90K, 100K. This kind of makes sense to you guys, right? It's easier to say, okay, I could help 14 families with, a policy at $250 a month versus saying I need to hit this ginormous goal of submitted gross points. Okay? So, elite producers, you guys, they don't emotionalize and chase money. They reverse engineer the outcomes, right? Break the goals down into manageable targets, track the activity mathematically, operate with intentionality, and build predictable production, because it's all about predictability at the end of the day. So this is how six-figure earners break the numbers down, agency builders break the numbers down, top financial professionals and elite entrepreneurs develop consistency. All right. So again, it's cash flow versus gross submitted points. So if calculating commissions, right, and advances and expected deposits, you calculate that 0.75 or that 9 months times your payout percentage, okay, which is your contract. All right. And then gross submission goals, if you calculate pure production, you can just divide calculate the full 12 months. So no advanced percentage applied, no 75%. So these are our title goals, positional goals, right? These aren't cash flow goals because OIC promotes on submitted gross. Does it make sense? So KJ, I can submit 80,000, 60,000 of it could rock, and I'll still get promoted because I did the work. Now, this doesn't mean go out there and put bad business, right, on the books. But what it means is OIC with a builder's model is saying, listen, we're going to reward the person who's active. We're going to reward the activity because we know the activity leads to the results. This kind of makes sense? And so your production is measured from total annual premium. All right. So the moment you know your numbers, you guys, the excuses shrink, the confidence grows, and your business becomes a measurable target month after month, day after day. Your business is basically a monthly target goal. I'm going to say that one more time. Your business is nothing else. Like outside of these numbers, you're not talking about your business. Okay? So your business becomes measurable. You stop saying, I hope I make the money this month. And you start saying things like, I know exactly how many applications, I know exactly how much premium, and how many appointments are required to hit my target. Okay? So this is what separates hobbyists from professionals, producers from builders, employees from entrepreneurs. And I love, love, love what Kim Howard said last night. She said, are you building a job or are you building a business? And in order for us to build a business, we have to be familiar with our numbers. All right. And so big goals, you guys, are rarely difficult because they're impossible. They feel impossible. Big goals are really difficult because they're impossible. They're difficult because people never break them down properly. That's it. When I'm doing applications, when I'm talking to prospects, right? Anybody who's ever done joint work with me or field work with me, when I even illustrate from a place of possibility. Client
You
appointment
froze up.
yesterday. Can you guys hear me?
Now we
Yeah,
can.
Now we
I'm
can.
good. Okay. Okay. So KJ and I did a appointment yesterday, and we illustrated from a standpoint of possibility first. Once the client saw what was possible, we were able to kind of break things down to more of a bite size, right? Premium for the client. He closed the business, right? And so what it says here, big goals are really difficult because they're impossible. They're difficult because people never break them down properly, even when you're talking to your clients. Okay. So reverse engineer your targets, calculate the premium, determine the policy count, identify the activity needed. Okay. And then the impossible becomes measurable, and measurable goals become achievable goals, you guys. So with that said, okay, elite financial professionals don't guess. They calculate, they execute, and then they close. All right. So I just kind of wanted to open up with that this morning, right? Because I wanted to kind of curtail the conversation from yesterday and just kind of what we've been talking about as a theme of knowing our numbers, understanding our numbers, and wanted to give you guys an actual formula of submitted gross versus cash flow and how to properly calculate that number. Okay. Does this kind of make sense? Was this helpful to anybody? Put a one in the chat. If this was helpful
Absolutely.
to you guys? If
It
it was
was to an open.
confusing, call me after, and then we'll take a deeper dive. All right. So I'm gonna open the call up to some of the leaders here. And anybody want to comment on just kind of that particular remedy or that particular formula in regards to hitting your goals. And let's talk about target goals this month, right? Let's have the conversation. Let's be bold and courageous. How many of you guys have cash flow goals this month? How many of you guys have positional goals this month? And let's talk about them. Calls
Hey,
open.
the first thing I want to say, brother, is I get it with that breakdown, but when I get the slides and digest it deeper, I get it. I get
Yes,
it.
sir.
And thank you for making that easy for an old guy to understand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I realize that, a lot of people probably don't know how to break down their numbers and things of that nature, especially after yesterday's call, you know, and I'll be very honest with you, we talk about a lot so much where I forget sometimes that we have new people. on board. And sometimes we have to kind of go back to a very basic, structure of understanding how to break these things down. So I appreciate the leaders yesterday for pulling this to the forefront, right? So that we could have this conversation in depth, right? Because we got a lot of new blood on the team and a lot of folks are super focused. And I want everybody to hit their goals in a timely fashion, right? Anybody else though? Any comments? Anybody want to be bold and courageous and talk about their goals this month?
I'm always bold and courageous. I just put in the chat, uh, me and Chat GPT are best friends, so I copied your formula and put in a small little guide for people in
Hmm.
there so they could use it just to do the calculations. But I just ran my calculation, guys. I need to cash flow $30,000 to close out EP this season, so I got nothing to
Hmm.
hide. I'm already at about 20 grand cash flow so far for the season, just being super transparent with the entire team so that you could either hold me accountable or help me or
Go.
go talk about me, whatever you want to do. It's all the same
Let's
party,
go.
right?
Let's
But
go.
my personal goal is to hit 30,000 in cash flow before we wrap up the 6 month period of June. So that means that I have to personally, with an organization, between myself and the organization or the help of this entire organization, since we're a team, write $57,000 worth of premium business based on the calculation, the cash flow. Outside of whatever else is falling behind me, I'm not counting that at this moment. If it comes, that stuff is coming, it's in play. So my cash flow will move forward from 20 grand today beyond this conversation. But as of now, in order to be fair with myself mentally, based on the document that I just created and the formula he just showed us, it says that I have to personally write with an organizational team, which is beautiful, $57,143 in premium activity. If I wrote it
Mhm.
personally, I'd have to write 57,143 in premium. And based on my 70% contract and my advance, then I could cash flow $30,000. So that's the mental goal that I walked off with this call today that I need to
Awesome.
be able to produce in that function essentially. So, and just being transparent, just so people
Love
understand
it.
that there's nothing to hide here as a leader. We're going to make money with you, without you, or together. We just want to let you guys know. And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to be transparent for people, guys, is this is a real business. That means what I realize is that in a short period of time, I've already pulled in 20 grand for the season. What I want you guys to recognize, the reason why business is more powerful, some people work for 20 grand the whole year. I just talked to a teacher yesterday, or a paraprofessional, and she made $22,000 for the whole year. In business, if you become profitable, you can make 20 grand in short periods. What happens if I double this the same time? So my goal next year, Mr. Samad, or better,
Mhm.
is that I need during this same time period, I should be 40,000 and above, essentially. And so this is real numbers, so you guys understand that we're going to figure it out with you guys as an organization for you to understand how to run your numbers. So I was excited about the way you shared with that.
Absolutely. And that was the goal, right? That was the goal. Is to get us to think about what we're thinking about, right? And to get us to take a look at the numbers, right? And have a formula in regards to how to calculate cash flow versus submitted business. And then based on your contracts, right? Know your numbers, right? That's all this is about at the end of the day is us knowing our numbers, right? So I appreciate it, Hans Augustine. And let's give Hans, you guys, a round of applause. Hans just got the 50K watch. We just figured out
Oh,
that
let's go.
he did the calculations, and I know that's a snack for him. He's not gonna mention it himself because he's after so much more. But at the same time, that's a huge milestone. So he's our newest 50K watch earner. And what that means, you guys, to some of the
Let's
newer
go.
folks is that over a 12-month
Go,
period,
Hans.
he's cash flowed over $50,000 in our infinite company, right? So 12 months rolling could be, it's not a calendar year. It's from whenever to whenever. And it's the same thing with the 100K ring, by the way, as well. Okay. So when you guys get to a point where you guys are running for 100K, right, it's not within a calendar year, it is 12 months rolling. All right. And so if he's tracking 50K, right, and his organization is growing, right, his activity is increasing, what's next, right? The next natural byproduct is 100K. After 100K, quarter million. After quarter million, half a million. After half a million, $1 million ring, right? And it's super possible. It's unlimited upside in this business, you guys. So all we got to do is get after it. So congratulations, sir. Super proud of you, brother. Personally for me, my goal, for example, the first 2 quarters of the year was to cash flow 50K. All right. Because if you hit 50K within the first 2 quarters of the year, guess what you get?
Equity.
Equity. You earn more equity in the company. So my goal every 2 quarters is to earn more equity, right? So everybody's goal on a platform where you can earn equity should be, if you're not a business director, this is why we're saying hurry up and get to BD. Because in order to get into the equity pool, you got to first hit business director. Once you hit business director, now it's just about running up a flagpole of equity. Equity, 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 equity. And I plan on being the largest owner of equity shares in our Infinite company. Period. Okay. It's a lofty goal, right? But it's doable. Anybody else want to share comments, takeaways, their
Yep.
numbers? Come on, KJ.
Um, I think this call and last night's call have really helped me
Yeah,
see
it's all
things
right.
from
It's
a
about to
different
close.
perspective.
They're letting people talk right now. That's fine.
No,
I got it.
yeah,
I'll
and
call you back as soon as
I
it's
know.
over.
Mr.
it
Taylor,
really
go ahead
helped
and
me.
mute your mic, Mr. Taylor.
Oh, okay. How's he doing?
Mr. Taylor, go ahead and mute your mic, sir.
Okay. Okay. But
Or
I'll call you back
staff,
now.
can
I'm
you
sure to
mute
talk.
or
They're just
make
letting
me
people
the
talk right
host
now.
so we
So
can
what are
mute
y'all
Mr.
doing?
Taylor?
Mr.
Christine,
Taylor. Just going to the store.
Christine,
Go
can you make
somewhere
me
at the bank
host or
right now.
co-host?
Is he wanting to yard sale?
Hey, Mr. Taylor.
There we go.
Mr.
Got
Taylor.
it. Got it. He's
Okay.
done. He's
You,
done.
you
Yeah, got it. All right, KJ, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just saying, like last night's call and today's call helped me like reevaluate some things. Like in terms of my goals, like I came in with a personal goal. But now I'm like looking at it from a different perspective, going from like agent to agency mindset. Um, and like today's call helped me with like reverse engineering because I'm usually like I'm a big goal type of thinker, so I like to I mean, I play a sport, so I'm gonna use a sports reference. Like, but when you play football, the goal is to get the touchdown, right? Like everybody, like you need touchdowns to score points. But how do you get a touchdown? You get a first down, right? So how do
That's
you get a
right.
first down? You get yards within the 4 downs that you got, you know? So like reverse engineering it and breaking it down to like achieve this and eventually you'll achieve the big goal. So that's what I took from today's call and yesterday's call. And I'm just trying to reevaluate my goals, really sit down, think about the numbers and, go from there. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what is our target for this month? Whether it's positional, whether it's
yeah.
cash flow, what is our goal this month?
The goal is associate. I need to get my recruits. The gross submitted points, I had a personal goal for that and
Yes.
I hit that. I hit that
Yes, sir.
goal. But I'm just seeing where my focus has to
Mhm.
go now. Like you said, the numbers you focus on, the numbers you're gonna hit. Um, so I'm just seeing that I need to focus on, just clarify it a little bit and go down the right path. That's all. So,
Yes, sir. Well, let's go. Right. We got
mhm.
15 days right?
No, I got you. I got you. Yep, I
Yes,
got you.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you got it. Let's go. Let's go. And it's already in the pipeline, right? We got some appointments set up, right, to get that wrapped up and get it closed out by the end of the month. And
Hmm.
just it's a decision. It's a decision.
Yep.
So kudos to you, man. Let's show some love to KJ, y'all. KJ is getting it done. KJ yesterday, the past 2 days. He did a rollover. He already had the illustration done. All I did was put eyes on it. It was great. I helped him submit the paperwork. Yesterday, one of his coworkers, while he was at work, he said, "Hey, this guy wants to convert a term policy." And he was like, "Can he do that?" I said, "We can't do it from um, carrier to carrier, right? But these are some of our choices and these are some of our options. We focused on the affordability aspect of things and he got it done, right? He brought me onto the call. He leveraged me to kind of take a look at things again, right? I looked at it. He had me speak to the client for a few minutes, got off the line, submitted the application, right? And so he's a training associate, right? And I always say success does not require your permission, it only requires your ambition.
Yep.
Success does not require your permission, it only requires your ambition. All you got to do is be it, claim it. It's yours for the taking. It's yours for the taking, right? So shout out to KJ. Anybody else want to talk about their numbers,
Can
their
I can I
goals?
give can I give KJ a shout out? It's an East Coast thing, guys. It's just the East Coast thing. Shout out to the East Coast. I'm gonna take any credit that the East could do. I ain't mad at you, KJ. It's an East Coast thing, guys. I'm sorry. I love the West too, but even Miss Howard said it last night. Hey, I'm from the East. Let's go, East Coast. Eating. We
Let's
hungry over here.
go.
We
So what did
hungry
that
over here.
say? What does that say
Just so you
about
know, my
me?
parents are from the East Coast. No, just
Oh,
kidding.
uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh,
My
uh-oh.
dad from New York, my mama from Philly, so it's a
Hey,
mixture.
Uh-oh,
my
It's
West
uh-oh,
Coast
Cali and
people
uh-oh,
are
East.
uh-oh,
traitors.
uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
West
Wow,
Coast people
wow.
are traitors. You guys are
I,
leaving me for your
that's
past East Coast lives.
Marlena. Don't worry about it. I'm from Oakland. I'm from Oakland. What that say about me,
Hey,
Marlena?
West
I'm
Coast
from
all
I'm from
day.
Oakland, California, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm not jumping ship. Never. Okay. I love the East Coast, but it's West Coast, man, all day. Yes,
I would
yes.
like
Hey,
to share
Come on, Princess
this
Matt.
East West girl is to share.
All of a
Thanks for
sudden, all of a
no, no,
sudden.
no.
All
I'm
right.
from the Bay. Stop it. Stop it. By way of LA. Now I gotta add the
Look
East
what you
in. No,
did,
no, no, no.
KJ. Look what you did. You got them jumping
No,
ship,
I don't know
KJ.
nothing about that. I'm in California. No doubt about it. That part. So so yes, thank you for sharing this. I definitely have some big goals that I will hit
Mhm.
as equity
Let's talk
partner.
about
I'm
it. Okay.
not definitely not where I want to be, but I am getting there. So with this, I also like the fact that I have, you know, teammates, right? I'm gonna do my
Mhm.
part, but my goal is to recruit and really, by this, I don't even want to say it. I don't get held accountable. But yes, by this end of the month, I
It's
I
too
definitely
late.
want to bring 10 more partners in, and
Okay.
really just actually, up until convention, I want to bring at least 20 more new business partners, without a doubt. And with that, it will have a lot of responsibility, but it also will help me achieve my goals to equity partner. So that's where I'm at.
Yes, ma'am. Can I tell you where you are?
Don't be blasting me out. Nobody needs to know my
It's no
business.
it's
No, go
it's no
ahead.
such thing. It's no such thing. All love.
Okay.
But it's all good. I won't do it. I won't do it.
No, I don't care. I saw where I'm
Okay.
at.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
can.
right
You
now,
can.
we had 12,560 cash flow,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
and I'm
we
gonna tell
got
you, let's highlight that. because in
Yes,
2 months at the end of the year, I was at that. So
that's
I've
right.
got a problem with myself,
That's right.
you
Right.
know. So
You see the progression.
yes,
You
yes.
see the progression, right? And so you got this. Um, and I love what Princess is talking about, right? Because here's the cool thing about our business. When you understand who you are in this space and you take ownership of it, sky's the limit. What I mean by that is Princess understands that she's a builder, right? So she like, listen, we had a great conversation yesterday. She's like, listen, and a couple days before that, and I told her, I said, Princess, can I tell everybody, Princess, do you
Go
mind if I share?
ahead. Go ahead, sir.
I said, listen, man, you ain't no producer. You ain't no producer, but you a hell of a recruiter and you're a hell of a builder. So let's hone in on what we're good at. Bring me 10 this month, and I promise you I can get you the 100K ring by the end of the year. See
and
what I'm saying?
and the
You
next day
bring,
I recruited somebody.
and the next
That's
day
why
she brought on a superstar, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you guys don't compare yourself to what other people do, right? For example, if you're a producer, stay in your producer lane. But watch this. Recruiter. See what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Recruiter. That's the beauty of our business. Hey, I'm not a big writer. That's why I recruited a Brian Swisher.
And
Wealth
so
is
let me
about
wait. Let's break that
wealth is
part down.
about leverage.
Let's break that part down, Suni. I didn't
Let's
have
break
any
it down.
business I wrote last week, but I woke up, and I had $800 in my account. And this is what I've talked about of passive income. It's like it's really up to me. It's really up to me.
It's
And if
up to
I
you.
add to that, I'm like, oh, what are you doing, princess? They said four. They said three.
That's it. Yes, ma'am. And
Get out
and
of the
and
way.
here's the cool thing. You're gonna become a better writer over time, like I did. I didn't come here the best writer. I didn't know how to do an illustration when I got to R Infinite Company. I didn't even know how to do an illustration, KJ, when I got here. I didn't know nothing about, IULs and annuities and rollovers. I was banging the phones, closing final expense. But I knew numbers, I knew systems, and I knew how to build teams and lead people. And I said, if I could do that in OIC, sky's the limit. Because I understand wealth, I understand business. Business and wealth is about leverage, right? Man, listen, Jeff Bezos, has anybody ever seen Jeff Bezos deliver an Amazon package? Absolutely not. I mean, he might be concerned with getting good at it, but maybe not.
I'm sorry. Let me add one more thing. I was on the
What's
call
up?
this morning on Spark,
Uh-huh.
and Delma, talked about events and how to build a team and all this good stuff. But they also showed a picture of the recruits since they've been here under them, the number. Mary
Mhm.
Grace has 3,924 people under her.
Mhm.
The next person, 3,100. Then it goes all the way down. I think you're at 474. But
Mhm.
you didn't do that by yourself. They didn't do that by themselves. One per
Mhm.
but Mary Grace, I mean, come on. I'm like, oh my gosh, this was motivating to me. Like, okay, this is the numbers. Just keep
Mhm.
going and building and let it multiply itself.
Absolutely. You guys, the nature of our business is compounding. It's not linear, it's compounding. The nature of our business is compounding, right? So, 2 minutes left. Miss Michelle, you unmuted. Did you want to say something, my dear?
Yes, I
Let's go,
did
Miss
unmute.
Michelle.
So we got another East Coaster here. Okay.
Let's go.
And
That's all
yes,
she
I
wanted to
want to
say.
say congratulations to Hans Augustin. Go,
Yes,
Hans, go.
that's
And
Thank
right.
you, sis.
so my goal is to go 10 wide. I'm
Let's
at
go.
six. I'm at six right now. So I need four more to
Mm,
go 10 wide. So that's
yeah.
my goal. And then to hit field director and then business director. So that's my goal.
Let's go. Let's go, Miss Michelle. And she got me on a three-way at least twice a day with some prospects, right? And she just brought on a new agent win Monday,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anthony Prasad, I believe he's out of California. So she got a West Coaster on her
Yes,
team.
I do.
I bet you she ain't mad at
Yeah.
that.
But it was an East Coast effect. We're about to start an East Coast, West Coast war. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna celebrate when we get
Yeah, we gonna start a war.
we're gonna celebrate when we get to Dallas because nobody's dying here. Everybody gonna win. That's what's gonna happen on this side of this
I
ain't
love
Biggie
it.
and Tupac, but we're about to win
Yeah,
together, basically.
I love it. I love it. Come on, Mr. Taylor. Go ahead and close us out, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm going to, I've got to go, and you've said several things today that just really applied to me. But um, I'm already 10 wide. That doesn't mean I'm not recruiting. I'm continuing to do that. But
Hmm.
my goal um, is get the 8K in submitted business. But what I'm saying, and you were talking about the activity
Hmm.
from 2 months ago, from when I started, broke the code, and not made any money yet, not written anything yet. But the activity from those 2 months and from those sweet treats and from building the relationships, Hans and I have already, we've had first appointments with three teachers, maybe four teachers. We've had the second appointment today with one who came fantastically prepared. She sent us all of her statements, everything. This gal is amazing. 8 o'clock
Hmm.
Saturday morning, we're going to offer some recommendations, and so that came from activity. And I will admit that in my previous career, in the one I was just in, they hammered activity, they hammered activity, they hammered activity, and I'm thinking, I'm doing the production that they're looking for with less activity, so why? So that was the old guy thinking in me. But
Hmm.
since I've been using those jewels that Marlena shared, that activity tracker,
Hmm.
it's really proven it. So it just lets me know that I will get it. And I'm going to share a conversation that you had with me, because you shared with me that my journey reflects yours. In your first 90 days, you didn't make any money, but you built a team. And so that kept me going. That keeps me going when I think, I'm not making any money. I want to show Maggie that I'm making money, but these little small wins and what you showed me today and what I will digest when I get those slides help me to break it down. So, thank you for that. But I want to share just one other thing, because what we have here, guys, is not OIC wide. Um, I recruited someone who didn't have OIC in their, they hadn't changed their profile. It was a young lady out of Texas, and she let me know that she was already in OIC. And so I kind of backed away from it, but she continued, to reach out to me on LinkedIn and things. And I'm not going to I'm not going to drop names. I'm not going to do anything. But this lady is in, I think she's in Texas, and she was recruited by someone else in the OIC platform who um, is big on recruiting, big on throwing kind of at the wall. And so she shared with me she's been a month and she's been able to get into one school, but it's not the academy approach, and it's not even doing what we talk about in the academy. So guys, um, I'm not breaking any confidences at all, and I wouldn't dare do that, and I'm not pointing any fingers, but I am lifting up my hands in thanks to God that I'm on the team that's showing on that background there. I'm thankful for somebody like Suni who has taken an old guy and transformed him, transformed his thinking. And so I am not going to, I'm not beating myself up because I'm still a training associate. In a little over in less than an hour, I'm going to teach this system just like I was an executive co-chairman. I want to
That's
teach
right.
LinkedIn because it's made me successful in recruiting. I'm already now I'm two generations deep because one or two of my people have caught it and they are doing that. So I'm seeing the big picture now, and I know when the school year starts, I am going to be reaching people that I hadn't reached. One last thing. I wanted to learn the ERG. I wanted to learn the six figure, and I went ahead and got on to the email coordinator. Those things have been amazing. They are mailing the districts that I feel like that I have cracked. And just this week, I got a response from one of the principals who was one of the first people to say, yes, I want you to do it. And
Mm.
one of the first things she said, you said you're going to help people retire better. You're going to help me retire better. I said, absolutely. She said, I got a long way to go. I said, that's why I can help you retire better. And she said, do you have availability in June or July? I've followed up with her. I'm waiting for her. So that principal, I built that relationship with, and if she doesn't do anything with me, she's going to tell everybody what I do. So thank you, sir, for what you've poured into me. And Hans Augustin and I don't know how many field training appointments we've had, but I guarantee you, I'm killing that tracker. We've had so many, I'm not even putting it in the tracker yet. But at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, we'll be closing something. We'll be providing
So,
some sessions at 5 o'clock in the evening. I'll be able to jump on briefly because our quartet's singing in Georgia and I'll have to get inside the church. But we are closing the gentleman in California, hopefully
so,
with an annuity and with a final expense portion. And that's because I have a wonderful business director who just began to say, let's get it to where you need to be. And he's done an amazing job. I'm giving him the roses while he's living. And so thank you for everybody who's been a blessing to me. And I may not make the big money right away, but it's coming down the road if God lets me live long enough, because you instilled in me and you made me believe that I'm a builder and I will build. I'm going to go wider than 10, and I'm going to go as deep as I can, and I will get the money leveraging the systems. Thank you
yes,
for
sir.
everything. Just all I can
Yes,
say
sir,
is
brother.
thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, you got it. You got this. And you will wrap up business. Trust me. I had 90 days of no income in this business, but I knew what I wanted to do. And
Yes.
it's that penny double theory.
Amen.
You just got to stick with whatever your goals are and not get distracted. Some people run a race, some people run a marathon. It's completely up to you, sir. But you keep building the way that you're doing, you're going to have one of the biggest teams on this platform. That said,
I'm
listen, I
claiming that.
appreciate everybody. We're about 8 minutes over, but thank you guys for staying over a little bit. I hope this was helpful today. You guys, this is the 14th of the month. If you're not registered for a convention, I have no idea what you're waiting for. Your business is not going to build itself. There's no better place to be. There's no other place to be than in that convention on August 8th or the 7th and the 8th. All right. So see y'all at the top. Y'all have a blessed day. And
Send the
I'll
slides.
see you guys soon.
Send the
Peace.
slides.
Yes, sir. All right, you guys.